Hello friends, welcome to another week 9. Oh my goodness. Thank you for tuning in to Church with Jess. That's me. I hope everyone's doing well out there, staying sane as you can, and while trying to navigate the current situation at hand. It's all very confusing, and I hope that our weekly meetings just help you gain some clarity and love and light and peace and understanding of what we can do as a people just to create the type of world that we want to live in. So this week, we're back to the Peace Oracle, which is that one. So this is more of a simpler spread. So this week, I guess you'll get a break from me talking for almost 2 hours. But anyways, I did a 3-card spread. 3 cards always represent past, present, and future of the situation at hand. So the past influences the future, or the present situation, and the future, potential future outcome of the situation. So, as I was meditating today, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to talk about. I never really am. It just kind of comes to me as I'm talking. So today, after I did yoga and meditation, I just started thinking about just how much false information is out there, how people are being divided more and more, our rights are being stripped away while we just comply and let it happen. And I've just kind of had that on my mind this past week. What is really going on, and why is the truth being censored from us? And I think my opinions have changed just based on allowing myself to stop buying into the fear that's being created and really stand back and look at the big picture and research and find as much truth as I can. And in doing that, I've come to a lot of different conclusions. And I'm not going to preach about that on here, but I just have my eyes more open and I'm more aware. So anyways, that's just what I've been thinking about a lot. So my question to the divine source is, in a time when it seems like our rights are being slowly stripped away daily, what can we do as a people to be the change that we want to see in the world? How can we break free of the shackles and be truly free of mind, body, and spirit to live our lives as we were meant to? That was kind of the question that I just was pondering as I was holding the cards, as I was meditating, as I was thinking about what I wanted to talk to all of you about. That's just kind of what was on my mind. And these are the cards that I drew. So the first card that I drew was fertility. This is representing our past situation that maybe led to the current circumstances that we're in. Fertility. I think last week I said I was thinking all the cards I drew were trees, but I'm pretty sure that every single card has some kind of tree in the image. which is really awesome, actually, if you think about it. So fertility. So when I first drew this card and I was looking at it, I was kind of thinking about how the earth was once so fertile and lush and green and beautiful, and it's still beautiful. But, you know, humans came along and stopped caring at some point about her, and it's maybe not as lush and green as it used to be because of that. But I also was thinking about how the earth provides as well, and how we're so provided for, and we have everything that we need. So let me talk a little bit about fertility, about the card itself. Whoops, I almost dropped the camera. So this deck, it always starts with a quote. There is peace in the garden, peace and results. I love my garden. I do find peace in my garden. I'll just sit out there sometimes and just read a book or have breakfast or lunch out there, and it is very peaceful. Light some incense. I love that. Scatter the seeds of peace, love, and happiness in the hearts and minds of everyone you meet. Diligently nurture those kernels with hope, belief, and respect. This joyous and beautiful garden will propagate. Its pollen will blow across oceans. Its flowers will cover the world. Interesting. The divinatory meaning of this card is: your words, actions, and attitude will grow wheresoever they may fall. A little effort, a small gesture, will grow into your future. Plant tomorrow wisely. A good idea leads to many more. I feel like that is kind of always that I say this a lot. Thoughts are things. Thoughts become things. So choose good thoughts, manifest good things. I feel like that's like the law of attraction, like The Secret, saying, your words and actions and attitude will grow wherever they fall. So whatever you put out there, it's gonna manifest, where you allow it to. So I did make some notes on this card as well about fertility. We plant the seeds. We plant the seeds of our past actions have led us to. I'm sorry. Let me say that again. We plant the seeds our past actions have led us to. Our present situation. We plant the seeds. Our past actions have led us to our present situation. I wrote this like a few minutes ago and I still can't read it correctly. The earth was once abundant, fertile and lush and untouched by human hands, with industry and the creation of stuff. We leave a trail of garbage for our future generations. We need to do better. I'm still, I think about that a lot, about how amazing this beautiful planet that we live on is. And like I said, how, everything we need, we already have provided. And it's like we take it for granted. And we just keep doing things that are detrimental to our environment and our survival, and then we leave trash everywhere for I don't know, thinking somebody else is going to come and pick it up, or I don't know what people who just leave litter and trash and whatever, just leave it behind or on the ground or throw it out their window, or you know, what do you think is going to happen to it? Do you even think about what's going to happen to it? I often wonder that. You know, if there's no trash can around, just like take it home with you and throw it away there. There's no reason to just leave those things, leave our human waste, like, and trash and everything behind, and, you know, leaving dirty used gloves in the parking lot and used masks, and just littering our planet with things that are like unnecessary. It's just unnecessary. It's all unnecessary. Please don't litter. The earth is your home. It's all of our home, and it's the home of our children, our children's children, and their children's children, and as long as it goes on. So, you know, plant seeds of positivity so that positivity will grow and thrive. That's what we need to do collectively, as a collective consciousness, because it's going to take a lot of us to really shift the polarity from a more negative environment to a more positive one. And that's, you know, how we can start to be the change that we want to see. So the second card is shelter, which I thought was just really, really interesting that I pulled this card, that I was inclined to pull this card. Because literally, sorry, I'm covering my face, but just so you can see the image. I mean, literally, like, we are being made to shelter in place, and that is literally the current situation. So I thought it was like so wild that, well, not really, because this is what we're meant to see. So it's just interesting, though, that for the card that represents the current situation, that I drew shelter. So let's talk about shelter then. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. I also found that quote to be interesting because basically, first of all, this is the present, the card that represents the present, and behind it is the past, and ahead of it is what the future circumstances. So it's interesting that the quote says what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us, which that's so true. And that's what, you know, we talk about every single week is what lies within us, and, you know, needing to get in contact with that and discover that if you haven't already, and figure out what that is. It's super important. It's the only way to get to where you want to be, or where you're truly meant to be, I should say. The divinatory meaning. Take shelter in a word, a smile, or friendship, and know that you're not alone. Shield your hope. Rest if you need, but do not allow your heart to harden or your light to fade. So I definitely was thinking about just that feeling of, or just the sentence, like, don't allow your heart to harden, really spoke to me. Because again, just with like everything going on, and really like finding more truths and stuff, you start, those of us who have or have sought that out, you start to get kind of angry about it and like annoyed and frustrated, and you have to acknowledge those emotions for sure and like why you're feeling them. But I think it's so true that with all of that, it's easy to allow our hearts to harden and our light to fade and to lead with anger and ego, instead of sitting back and searching within and just taking a step back and taking it all in and trying to constructively think of what you can do to get to where you want to be and to make things better. What can we do? So that's just what I was thinking about. And I have some notes on that card, of course. So shelter, what it kind of said to me, is to see the world in a different way. As more real info comes to surface and is censored from the public, it's easy to feel angry and allow your heart to harden. But that is counterproductive to your goals and desires. Be a source of comfort and peace for those around you. Let peace be contagious. So, yeah, I think it's important, like I just said before, that to not allow these things to harden our hearts, because in that we're unable to spread our light and our peace and our love in the world, which is what we're trying to do to make this world become a better place and to inspire people to be better. And if we lose that, then it's like we've kind of lost our way, so I think it's best if you are feeling that way or like feeling how I've been feeling about everything, then I think it's best to more than ever to sit down and just sit in peace and quiet and solitude and just really think about the problem and all the things surrounding it and potential solutions and what you can do to help people, to help spread that light and that love to other people who need it. You have to be able to breathe it out, and the answers will come. The answers will come if you really if you seek and are open to receive them. So the affirmation, I don't know if I read the affirmation on the last one, but I'll read them all again at the end. The affirmation, if you do want to meditate on this card or just like points that I've talked about, I am safe in the strong and gentle hands of the universe. My heart is a haven for hope. My consciousness is a harbor for ingenuity and grace. I find shelter in a smile and share this comfort with others. Hope, peace, and contentment are my refuge. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that still, need help right now and are going through things. There's people, for a lot of us, we're very fortunate and we shouldn't take it for granted that we have safe, happy homes to be forced to shelter in. But there are a lot of people in this world who don't have that, luxury. There's people who are in abusive situations. There's women, children, and I'm sure there's men too. But there's a lot of kids out there who I think like school is their safe space, and that's been taken away from them. It might be a place where they get food because they might not have any, or they might live in poverty or live in a situation where that's not provided for them, and school is the place that they get that, and that's been taken away from them. There's people that are out there in domestic abuse situations, or being home, and especially where tensions are running high right now, is a really terrible situation. There's all sorts of things. There's people who can't cope with being alone and can't cope with being in the unknown and just forced to be with their own thoughts and take their own lives. There's people that are going through that right now. So I think, when you think about shelter, think about how not everybody has a safe space to do that. And that really may help your heart, to keep your heart from hardening, is thinking about those people and what you can do to spread light and love and peace to them, because they need it the most. They need it the most. So again, don't let your heart harden. Don't lose your light, because there's people out there that need you. They need your light. They need your love and peace and understanding. So spread that around the world instead. So the final card, which is such a great card to receive, this is the card that represents the future, the potential future outcome, if we do, I think, the work that we need to do, and if we look at our past and we think about our present, and I think that will lead us to the answers that we're looking for. The card is, ta-da, forgiveness. Moment to let that image sink in. Kind of matches my hair thing, headband. Forgiveness. It's a good word. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to forget. Forgiveness is for you. It's a personal thing, so that you can move on from a situation. So, forgiveness. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. If in our heart we still cling to anything, anger, anxiety, or possessions, we cannot be free. Thich Nhat Hanh. The question that I asked literally had to do with being free. How can we be free? What can we do to be truly free of mind, body, and spirit? And in that quote is kind of the answer. And it's, again, interesting, as always, that, forgiveness is the card that I drew, and that it literally, in the quote, it's talking about, the questions that I asked. And this is the outcome card. Forgive so that you may be restored to wholeness. Both deep hurt and simple kindness are brought to any given moment through an infinite web of ideas, actions, and social norms. Hand me your anger, confusion, and pain. The chain of hurt ends here. Let love and peace complete you once again. And I think those are emotions that so many people are feeling right now and have been feeling for these nearly 3 months now, is anger, confusion, and pain. That's what I think so much of the world is feeling right now and projecting out right now. And it just seems like it's never going to end, and, and it just keeps getting, I don't know, it's just more and more restrictions suddenly, and, it creates a lot of fear and confusion, a lot of anger and resentment. And, we project those things. And when we project those things, we receive those things. The divinatory meaning: wipe the slate clean and approach a relationship afresh. Be ready to accept or offer an apology. Surrendering anger without surrendering a boundary or a desire will bring a more gratifying outcome. It's saying, we have to let go. We have to be willing to let go, and forgive. We're all human, and humans make mistakes. It's in our nature. We don't need to point fingers and blame, but we can forgive. We don't have to forget, like I said before. But if we don't let go of those negative emotions that we're holding on to, then we're going to project those out to receive them back. So it's really, really important, like I've said before, to acknowledge these emotions. Always acknowledge them. Never try to suppress them or hide them or just push them down to come back out at a later time. It's important to allow them to the surface, receive them, acknowledge them, ask questions, think about why you're thinking those things, why you're feeling that way, go over all the possibilities, and then release it. Breathe it out, let it go, and breathe in peace, love, light, forgiveness, and just start anew. Change your mind and change your life. I say that a lot as well. It's so true. I have witnessed it to be true. I know it firsthand. Nothing's instant. There's no instant gratification in, your search within yourself. You have to do the work, and you have to put it out there. And if you can decide, you can literally make the decision to change your way of thinking, to change your thought patterns, and your life will change and you will see real results. It's so possible. So, don't give up. And, I know it can be really, really hard. I know that. But it is so important to forgive for ourselves. Like I said, like I said before, this is not about anybody else. You don't have to forgive to make somebody else happy, to appease them. You don't even have to tell them that you forgive them. You just decide that. You don't have to tell anybody that. You can write it down, whatever it is, however it is that you see it being released, then that's what you do. If you need to write it down, if you want to write a letter, if you want to actually tell somebody that you forgive them, if you want to write it down and then burn it, whatever it is that helps you to release the pain, the anger, the resentment that you're holding on to in your heart, that is preventing your heart from generating love and joy and peace, then do whatever that is and breathe it out and let it go. Don't let it control you, because as long as you hang on to it, it's leading you. It's controlling you instead of allowing your heart to lead. So it's really, really important to let go of those things. Let's see what I wrote in my notes. Forgiveness. My question was, how can we truly be free? The only way is through forgiveness. If we hang on to our emotions, we allow them to control us. We can never truly be free. Forgiveness is for you. It is letting go of anger, pain, and resentment that you may be holding on to. pretty much the same thing that I've already said. But yeah, you got to let go of those things, because holding on to them is only holding you back and not allowing you to be the person that you were truly meant to be. So just think about that. And the affirmation that you can say for this card: hurt has no hold on me. I forgive you. I forgive me. We are only human and mistakes will be made. Hurt seeks to hurt, but it ends here with me, in forgiveness. We are all in life together. I stand tall without surrender in love, compassion, and peace. So, you notice how it said, I forgive me? That's something that you can do as well. You can forgive yourself for any past mistakes or wrongs or anything that you're holding on to that you might have done to somebody else, to yourself in the past. It's really, really important to allow yourself to forgive yourself as well. We are only human, and mistakes are a condition of, being human. Remember that. Nobody's perfect. And this is also so true. Hurt seeks to hurt, to retaliate, to, when hurt people. Have you ever heard that said before? It's so true. And that's pretty much what it's saying. If you're hurting, it's easy to just want to go and make somebody else feel that way. And that again is just detrimental to the human spirit. We have so much that we need to do here, and it's not worth it to hold on to that desire of revenge or wanting to hurt somebody because they hurt you. It's natural to feel that way, but it ends in forgiveness and letting go and releasing whatever it is that's hurting you. And I stand tall, or we are all in this life together. It's so true. We are all inhabiting Earth. We're all humans. We're all, members of the human race. And there's so much divide between us. And here's some notes that I have kind of talking about that. We all inhabit the Earth. Why do we allow ourselves to be so divided? By borders, by race, by gender, by government and political parties. Aren't we all a part of the human race? Don't we all live on the same earth? That's something I think about a lot too, just so many things, we're all human beings, and we all have a journey and something, a destiny to fulfill here. Why have we allowed ourselves to control ourselves? Humans control other humans, and what makes one person better than another person, or one race better, or one country better? We're all living on Earth. Excuse me, my throat is dry. My cool mug that my mom made me, my nieces and nephew, and my sisters, my parents, I miss Disneyland. I'm ready for Disneyland to reopen. My brother, Alex, shout out to Alex, who passed away, unfortunately, 13 years ago. And it was just his birthday on the 18th. He would have been 27, so that's interesting to think about. But I love that I have all these pictures of him and me together, and I just remember being in that moment. Shout out to my mom, who made me this awesome mug and is always so thoughtful with her gifts. I think that's where I get my thoughtful gift giving from, is my mom. I'm drinking lavender tea from Buddha Teas, my favorite. They always have little quotes on them. This one says, "May you find yourself stronger in hot water." So I love that. you know, when you're in hot water, when you're in the thick of it, you know, find your strength. That's awesome. We are in the thick of it, aren't we? So let's find our strength and let's, you know, ask for what we want and respectfully and peacefully. You know, we have to fight for what we want. No real change has happened in this world without those willing to fight for it, to stand up and shout, you know, at what they want and what they deserve. So we need to make that happen. Nobody owns us. We shouldn't allow anyone to own us if we want to be truly free. So I answered my question, I feel, in this reading. Let me go back and read the question again, which is, I always ask a question and meditate on a question so that I can get some clarity on, you know, what we need to do. The question that I asked to the divine source, to the universe, to God, to whatever you want to, you know, whatever you think is out there that you think is guiding you, you can ask this question too. What is it going to take for humans to want to change? Sorry. Going back to last week. That's the wrong question. The question for this week: in a time when it seems like our rights are being slowly stripped away daily, what can we do as a people to be the change that we want to see in the world? How can we break free of the shackles and be truly free of mind, body, and spirit to live our lives as we were meant to? So I feel, I don't know how you're feeling about all the cards that I drew today and what they represent, but as I was doing the reading, I really, you know, started to feel like, yes, I had an answer to my question. And the answer is, take care of the planet, plant the seeds you want to see grow. I'd say take care of the planet and of ourselves. Plant the seeds you want to see grow. Do not let your heart harden. Be a source of comfort and light to those around you. And finally, let go of anger, fear, resentment, and attachment. That is how to truly be free and become the change that you want to see. We can't be free if we allow ourselves to be controlled by these things, to be controlled by our fears, our anger, our hurt, our resentment. We can never be truly free of body, mind, and spirit if we don't let go of those things and release them. So for the next week, try and work on that. Try and work on all the things that we've talked about. You know, search within yourself, ask yourself for guidance, because the answers are always within you. Within all of us. I wanted to read a couple things. Okay, so there's this little passage from a book, The Book of Nothing by Sosan, and I just thought this was really brilliant, and I wanted to share it. When the deep meaning of things is not understood, the mind's essential peace is disturbed to no avail. The way is perfect, like vast space where nothing is lacking and nothing is in excess. Indeed, it is due to our choosing to accept or reject that we do not see the true nature of things. Live neither in the entanglements of outer things nor in inner feelings of emptiness. Be serene without striving, activity in the oneness of things, and such erroneous views will disappear by themselves. When you try to stop activity to achieve passivity, your very effort fills you with activity. As long as you remain in one extreme or the other, you will never know oneness. Those who do not live in the single way fail in both activity and passivity, assertion and denial. Again, that was from the Book of Nothing by Sosan. And I think it just is so relevant to what we're going through right now, the current situation of the world. And I think it's really talking about balance. And we're talking about body, mind, and spirit. Like, this is literally balance of all three of those things, which we all need, because it's been very one side or the other side. Really, it's been leaning towards a more negative polarity for several years now. So it's time to turn that around. It's time to spread the love, the light, the peace, the understanding, and stop the fear and the hate and the evil. I'm going to read you all of the affirmations again, because I think I might have forgotten to read the first one. I don't remember. And just if you do want to meditate on these cards or anything that I talked about, these are just some affirmations that you can say as you're thinking about these things. So the affirmation again for fertility, which represents our past influences. The seeds of hope, love, and peace burst into life within me. My heart is blossoming with joy. My mind is a garden of creativity. My actions begin the process toward a great and loving harvest. The rich, fertile depths of my being give rise to beauty, resilience, and strength. That again is the affirmation for fertility. The affirmation for shelter. Shelter, which is our current present situation. The affirmation is I am safe in the strong and gentle hands of the universe. My heart is a haven for hope. My consciousness is a harbor for ingenuity and grace. I find shelter in a smile and share this comfort with others. Hope, peace, and contentment are my refuge. And one more time, the affirmation for the third card, which is forgiveness, which is our future outcome. Forgiveness. So again, that affirmation, hurt has no hold on me. I forgive you. I forgive me. We are only human and mistakes will be made. Hurt seeks to hurt, but it ends here with me, in forgiveness. We are all in life together. I stand tall without surrender, in love, compassion, and peace. So those are the affirmations that you can meditate on. And then I just wanted to close out with a poem that this is written by one of the authors of the guidebook that goes along the Peace Oracle guidebook. It's where I'm getting all the affirmations and the meanings of the cards from. This is by Tony Carmine Salerno. He's, again, one of the writers of the book, the guidebook. Peace. You shall not find me while trying to make sense of this world, nor at times when you are fearful. For it is difficult for my light to enter the world of thought. Stop. Come rest a while in the shadows with me. I shall wait for you by the garden gate, where silence shall be our voice, and all that is unspoken shall be carried by the wind to ignite a flame in your heart. Time, space, dreams are dimensions of your soul. They are dimensions of love from which new life is born. There is infinite space within every atom of you, and there is infinite and eternal light in every atom. Forever you are blessed by an innate love that can never be lost. And so it is that you cannot lose me, nor I lose you. Tony Carmine Salerno. Remember that peace, that light, it's in you. It's in you and it lives in you. So let it out, let it free, let it shine. Let it be a beacon to those who need it in the world. And let it reflect off of them and come right back to you. Thank you again for tuning in and listening to me preach for another week. It's been really awesome getting to share these readings with all of you. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to see you guys next week in our big 10, episode 10. Thanks again. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane if you can. Practice meditation and self-reflection and try to find it in your heart to forgive and to move on. And peace be with you. Namaste.